Magandang hapon po, mga kababayan. Ito po ang inyong kaibigan, former Secretary at Political Advisor ni President Duterte and former Congressman din tayo. Humihiling ng magandang bati sa inyong mga buhay-buhay dyan, mga kababayan. Dito po tayo sa programang Iparas kay Paras. Ngayong hapon, wala dito si Paring Ado. Medyo na late lang. I hope he will be on his way. Pero inumpisahan na natin itong programa natin dahil marami po tayong mga pag-usapan, no? And ang napaka mahalagang issue ngayon ay yung hinihimok nila ang dating Pangulong Duterte at binabastos nila sa kanilang tinatawag na tuwad investigation sa Kongreso. With due respect, this gentleman whom I used to admire as my colleagues, especially yung kaibigan ko si Ace Barbers, ay nagbabago ang kanyang pananaw na iba na ang amo niya ngayon, si Marcos na, kaysa noong panahon na ina-admire niya ng todo-todo si Pangulong Duterte sa war on drugs. Hindi niya pwedeng masabi na wala siyang participation noong panahon ni Duterte dahil siya na ang chairman ng Committee on Drugs sa House of Representatives. And in fact, there were two speakers of the House. And in both leadership ng speaker, namely Alan Cayetano and what's his name, Alan Velasco, he was the chairman, and he knew that the Duterte drug war was doing very well, was making a lot of progress, and of course, in the course of the implementation ng drug war, Barbers was the chairman, and he was conducting investigation. And on those days where he was doing this investigation, he already knew na itong mga namamatay dahil doon sa tukhang at saka yung double barrel, these were legitimate operations of police. Bakit kung may katotohanan po, mga kaibigan, na ito ngayong iniimbestiga nila at kini-question si Duterte, bakit hindi nilalabas ni Barbers noon? Kung siya ang chairman ng Committee on Drugs, dapat noon pa lang, kung hindi siya papatay-patay sa trabaho niya bilang chairman, dapat noon pa lang sinita na niya si Duterte. But what happens, mga kaibigan? Instead na sisitahin niya si Duterte, pinipraise pa niya ng to high heavens. Kung wala daw si Duterte, wala daw ibang leader na makapagpaalis ng droga sa ating bansa. So why is he now leading this so-called Huad Committee na pahiyain even those people na walang kaalam-alam sa batas, walang kaalam-alam sa pagtatanong, ay dahil lang sa camera, dahil lang sa limelight that they will get out of it, ay kung ano-ano na mga tinatanong. When in fact, the issues already concerns judicial matters, the commission of crimes, Hindi naman ito judiciary. This is legislative work na talagang when you do investigation, it always in aid of legislation. So, nakakatawa na yung mga resource persons nila, kung sino-sino na lang, at talagang halatang halata na since Duterte is coming to honor their invitation, kinukuha nila yung mga tao na kunwari resource persons, but who are people who hated Duterte, who had always made accusations against President Duterte, but has no basis in their accusation. And tulad nitong isang instance, mga kababayan, na ako mismo ay may kinalaman sa pangyayari, since I was the one who filed the case against the person na binabanggit ni Trillanes. Ito po, pakinggan natin itong Trillanes at bakit po tinanggap na si resource person na ito without first betting. Hindi muna sila tatanong, nag-i-evaluate kung yung mga sasabihin ba ditong mga resource persons are really verified. Kung hindi, haka-haka lamang at gawa-gawa lamang para lang sisirain ang isang tao, lalo na dati pang presidente who achieved a lot of honor and prestige, especially in terms of his trust rating, his performance rating, which was always nasa pinaka-tuktok, which is mga 82 to 86% parate, lalo na sa war on drugs. So pakinggan natin itong kinuha lang nila na kumag na magti-testify or maging witness daw sa kanilang tuwad committee hearing.
So what happened to the deputy ombudsman, right, Carandang?
Yes, the deputy ombudsman Arthur Carandang confirmed that the documents that I attached when I filed the case was the same set of documents from the AMLAC, from the Anti-Money Laundering Council that they requested. So,
who requested?
The Ombudsman, as part of their investigation.
So what happened to the first case?
So they cannot dismiss it because everything was valid and was validated. So what Duterte did was he fired the deputy ombudsman na nag-iimbestiga. Ganun po yon.
Pagka, alam mo, ito si Mr. Trillanes, nagkaroon na rin kami ng case. Pero dahil sa napaka maayos kong tao, mabait na tao, convicted na dapat ito doon sa kaso na sinampa ko na grave threat against me when he threatened me in the halls of the Senate, but which I filed a case. He almost got convicted already. Through his lawyer, nakiusap sa lawyer ko, tapos na naman kami sa administration. I don't have any vindictiveness, at tumahimik naman siya. In-accept ko yung mga kababayan, in-accept ko yung kanyang apology. Nag-shake hands kami, akala ko tatahimik na at magiging matino na tao. Pero dito sa ginagawa niya sa Senado, he was accusing the president of firing Carandang na hindi naman po totoo, napakasinungaling. The President fired Calandang on the basis of the law, the rule of law. So, yun po ang nangyari. At ito, ipi-play po natin na itong si Calandang, itong overall Deputy Ombudsman, was making false statement, was making perjury by claiming that he got documents from the Anti-Money Laundering Council na nagre-represent daw na yung mga deposits ni Presidente ay totoo. This was disclaimed by the Anti-Money Laundering. Kaya dahil po doon sa kasinungalingan ni Calandang, I filed a case against him, administrative case for such an action that he committed. And he was given due process, and upon evaluation and investigation, the Office of the Legal Division, or the Undersecretary for Legal Affairs of Malacanang, has recommended for his removal. Ito po, this is highly documented and was documented by the media. Ito po, pakinggan natin yung pangyayari na ako mismo sinampahan. Hindi totoo yung he was fired by Duterte, but he was removed by the government because he lied, he falsified documents. Ito po ang katotohanan dyan.
Those are separate complaints. And two sets of
sir, ito yung kasama niyo si Glenn Chong. Yes. Ay, ito na pala si Sir Glenn. Okay.
Si Glenn,
Tapos ayun yung kay Attorney Luna.
This is a complaint, no? Against overall Deputy Ombudsman Calandang. This is a complaint by me, former Congressman Paras, and former Congressman Glenn Chong, no? For the illegal, unlawful disclosure of Calandang on the records of bank transactions of the President and his family, which turned out to be falsified and spurious.
Ako ang nagsampa together with Glenn Chong against overall Deputy Ombudsman Melchor Calandang, dahil po inanunsyo niya in one of his statements covered by media na yung sinasabi daw ni Trillanes was supported by the Anti-Money Laundering Council. Galing sa bibig niya, which it turned out that the AMLA never issued any document. Sumulat si Calandang, he was never answered, he was never given any documents by AMLA. But sinabi niya na galing daw sa AMLA yung mga nilalako ni Trillanes na puro kalokohan, puro walang basihan yung sinasabi niya na may mga pera si Duterte. So, because of that, ako bilang isang citizen, I was then I think the legal counsel of the PACC, the Volunteer Against Crime and Corruption, and my good friend former Congressman Glenn Chong. The two of us, we were lawyered by Attorney Manuel Luna. Nag-file po kami direkta po sa Office of the President. Wala namang kinalaman ng ating Pangulo dahil mayroon yan sa batas under the Administrative Code na administrative complaints are filed with the Office of the President. So, there was due process given to Calandang. But eventually, he was recommended to be removed by the president. Ito, hindi po binigyan siya ng due process, and until now the case is still in fact pending in the Court of Appeals, or I don't know now. The last time I was given a copy was last year. So I don't know now if it has reached the Supreme Court. So hindi po totoo na tinanggal siya ni Duterte dahil lang doon, just like that. There was due process, there was procedural antecedents that happened which led to his removal from the office of the Ombudsman. And this was upheld by Ombudsman Martires, na talagang tanggal siya. Hindi dahil pinatanggal siya ni Duterte, dahil tanggal siya dahil nagkasala siya, nagpalsify siya ng mga dokumento, nagsasabi siya ng hindi totoo. Yun po ang nangyayari dyan, mga kababayan.
At tinuulit na naman niya ngayon.
At wala, natanggal na si Kwan, ngayon, magsisinungaling na naman siya at siniset up ng Quad Committee or Huad Committee, siniset up si Trillanes para lamang sirain ang pagkatao, ang integridad ni Duterte at yung kanyang anak na vice presidente ngayon. So, ito po ang statement ng AMLAC. Ipapakita po natin.
Ang ginawa ng Anti-Money Laundering Council o AMLAC na nagbigay sila ng kahit anong impormasyon sa Office of the Ombudsman kaugnay ng umano'y bank accounts ni Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte. Gate ng AMLAC, hindi sa kanila nagmula ang mga dokumento at impormasyon na kasama sa inihaing reklamo ni Senador Antonio Trillanes IV. Ayon sa AMLAC Secretariat, natanggap nila nitong 6 ng Setyembre ang liham ni Overall Deputy Ombudsman Melchor Arthur Canandang na humihiling na maimbestigahan ang mga nasabing bank accounts. Kasulukuyan nila na sumasailalim sa evaluation ang nasabing request. Ang pag-imbestiga at ang paglabas ng ulat hinggil dito ay nakadepende sa resulta ng evaluation.
Yan po, sumulat siya at wala pang sagot ang AMLAC dahil i-verify pa. And yet, he announced officially, being the overall deputy ombudsman, that mayroon daw yung mga dokumento daw ni Trillanes ay authentic according to AMLA, which AMLA never said anything to that effect. So, in that instance, Mr. Canandang has committed grave misconduct in public office. Hindi basta-basta yung inaakusa niya ng falsified documents ang ating dating Pangulo Duterte, who was then the president at the time. That is highly political context, kasi yung kalaban mismo, yung tao na hate niya si Duterte, ang nag-produce nitong mga dokumento na falsipikado.
So noon pa man, may sabwatan na itong dalawang to.
May sabwatan yan si Canandang at saka si Trillanes. Okay. So, ngayon, hindi ko maintindihan bakit yung Quadcom or Huad Committee na yan ay without the vetting process, hindi man lang nila tinignan muna kung may authenticity ba yung mga statements ni Trillanes. Hindi muna, siyempre, kasabot nila si Trillanes.
Quadcom nga.
Kaya nga nakakatawa, kasi itong dating Chief Justice, kasi siyempre, may reaction si Pangulong Duterte, Balingado. Sinasabi ni Duterte, kaya naman yan si Trillanes, pinapaupo niyang mga Quadcom na yan, dahil may go signal yan sa Malacanang. Malacanang is behind the presence of Trillanes in Congress.
Sabay, sino pa?
So, yun lang ang sinabi ni Duterte. But tingnan mo itong kumag na to. nakatungtong lang as executive secretary, yung dating nagpasikat sa kanya, nagpalakas sa kanya na maging isang mataas na opisyal, sisirain pa niya at sasabihin pa niya hallucinating daw si Pangulong Duterte. Tingnan mo itong kumag na to.
Hallucination o guni-guni. Ganito inilarawan ni Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin ang pahayag ni dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte na sinusuportahan ng Malacanang si former Senator Antonio Trillanes IV sa mga pag-atake sa kanya. Sa interview, natatawang sinabi ni E.S. Bersamin na mahirap nang pumatol sa mga ganoong pahayag.
Ano? Ganun na lang. Ano?
Apa.
Alam mo, mahirap pumatol na sa ganyan dahil hallucination na yun.
Ano po, sir?
Hallucination.
Hallucination. Apa.
Sige, oo.
Sasabihin mong hallucinating si Duterte? So ibig sabihin, nung in-appoint ka, Mr. Bersamin, na Chief Justice noong 2018, out of more qualified people who could have been Chief Justice, ikaw ang pinili. Hindi ko alam kung si Presidente ay nag-hallucinating at that time kasi nilagay ka. So maybe that was the time na nag-hallucinate siya kasi ikaw ang nilagay. Mahiya ka sana. Ngayon, hindi lang 2 beses. So, second time nag-hallucinate si Presidente Duterte, nilagay ka na naman na chairman ng GSIS. Di ka ba mahiya? So, ibig mo sabihin, yung pag-appoint ni Duterte sa'yo, he was hallucinating. So, that means that you are not qualified dahil this guy, you are claiming now, he's hallucinating. Di ba, parang what can you say about this kumag na ito?
Wako, ayoko na magkomento rito kay Lucas Bersamin kasi malapit niya yata matanggal to Nahaaway daw nito si Lisa Araneta Marcos
Baka
appointments yung pinagawayan ni
baka talagang ala Vic Rodriguez ito kasi gustong pumapel sa appointment. Kung mayroon namang lumapit doon sa First Lady, siyempre, asawa ng Pangulo yun. Uunahan mo. Yun, magtatanong muna kay Pangulo na Bongbong. Tapos unahan mo, siyempre, talagang mangyayari yan. Tulad ng Vic Rodriguez.
Talaga ito si Bersamin, kamag-anak niya sa matataas na pwesto sa gobyerno. Talagang lumaki ulo nito. Baka
si Marcos ang nag-hallucinate kasi nilalagay yung kanyang mga kamag-anak. So, hindi maganda, Chief Justice kaibigan tayo.
Nasado nga, boss.
Pero sabihin mo yung amo na nag-appoint sa'yo to become Chief Justice when there were other takers for that job. Hallucinating. Tapos, tinutulak ka na maging chairman ng GSIS at in-appoint ka uli. Giving you prestige despite the fact na tapos ka na sa gobyerno.
Alam mo dyan,
sasabihin mo that the one that appointed you is hallucinating. Hindi ba nakakahiya yun?
Diyan galit ang Pilipino sa mga walang utang na loob.
So, yun po. At balik tayo po doon sa Quad. Tingnan mo itong Conti na ito. Conti. Itong Attorney Conti na nagmamarunong anong pinagdadaldal nito tungkol sa criminality ano siya, criminal ano daw meaning ng criminal ay pakinggan natin.
Attorney Conti, when would you consider a person a criminal?
Your Honor, under the rules, a criminal would have to be convicted of a crime.
Even if you have been convicted sa, for example, regional trial court, nag-appeal siya hanggang sa Korte Suprema, he's already considered a criminal under the eyes of the law?
Yes, Your Honor, because there is a conviction. Of course, you can contest that. Pwede nyo pong sabihin na, under appeal pa rin naman. But the conviction stands. It could be just that hindi siya nagsiserve ng sentence.
Anong statement niya? If you are convicted, you're a criminal. although that is argument that calls for an argument, no? Hindi po yan absolute, because we always believe in the so-called final judgment of the court. Tapos mayroong notice, although if we follow her definition, sino itong bakit siya nakikihalubilo dito sa isang kriminal? If we follow her kind of argument, reasoning na ang isang convicted person, a felon, is considered criminal once convicted in spite appeal. Bakit nakikipahalubilo siya sa partido nitong babaeng ito na convicted? Ipakita mo nga yung anong kanina. Ito. Itong babaeng ito, by the name of Francis Castro, Francisca Castro, bakit pinapasalita pa yan? According to Conte, convicted na daw yan. Criminal daw yan. Bakit nagtatanong pa? Pinapayagan pa magtatanong. Ganun ba katindi ang quad committee na yan? Na pati mga kriminal ay pinapasalita? Mayroon ka bang dyan? Video dito sa pagtatanong nitong Castro na ito?
Ma'am, magtanong ako.
Mr. Chair, ako po yung nagtatanong. Point of order.
Teka muna.
Pwede po sasagutin na lang ng resource person.
Mali yung tanong mo .
So, Mr. Chair, bakit mali po yung tanong ko? Ang tinatanong ko lang po, may nahuli ba kayo na malaking kriminal?
Tingnan mo, nagtatanong tungkol sa mga kriminal. May nahuli ka na ba daw na malaking kriminal? Dapat ang sagot ni Duterte, Ikaw, dapat hulihin ko dahil kriminal ka. Sabi ni Conte, convicted ka na. Ikaw dapat, ang hindi nakaupo dyan, dapat nasa kulungan ka na dapat kasi kriminal ka. Bakit inaalaw magtanong ang isang kriminal? Based on the definition of Conte and the acceptance of ACOP by that definition. Bakit pinapayagan pa yan? Mga kababayan, isang kriminal nandyan pa rin. At inaalaw pa na magtanong sa ating dating Pangulo na napakataas ang performance at trust rating. At saka ito, nag-file pa ng kaso kay Duterte, binasura ng korte. She claimed that papapatay daw siya ni Duterte. Paano siya ipapatay ni Duterte? Si Duterte hindi kriminal. Siya ang kriminal. So siya ngayon ang convicted. Di ba, pare? What can you say about that? What kind of government do we have? That criminals are allowed to ask questions to non-criminals like President Duterte?
Bakit pagka-congressman allowed ka mag-hallucinate? Ayan, yan ang tanong. Ukol sa diniscuss natin kanina. Ano pa? Ano bang moral ascendancy ng babae yan over the rest of you dyan sa Quadcom? Hindi ba kayo nahiya? Salitain nyo yan dyan? Convicted yan? Nawawalan kayo ng credibility lalo.
At saka, paring kung ikukumpara natin yung mga miyembro, ito, batang-bata pa lang. Pero matino na ang utak at magaling, matapang na magsalita. Maski alam niya na yung kanyang voice in those in the midst of all these people na gustong kurutin at yayariin si Duterte, matapang pa rin siyang dinipensa niya si Duterte. This is a congresswoman na napaka maayos na ang pagkatao. Ito.
Tayo ditong mga kinatawan ay ibinoto lamang ng ilang libong Pilipino. Ngunit ang kasama natin ngayon ang Pangulong Duterte, ang most voted Philippine leader ng 2016. At ang kanyang anak, Vice President Sara Duterte, ang most voted Philippine leader naman ngayong 2022. I would like to manifest na gusto ng sambayanang Pilipino ang pagdurog niya sa mga kriminal, durugista at NPA na terorista. Kaya sila ibinoto at patuloy na mahal ng mga Pilipino. Kaya gusto natin ng patas na hearing. Sana sinama natin dito ang libo-libong mga magulang na ang mga anak ay biniktima ng mga durugista. Ang mga ordinaryong Pilipino na naglalakad galing trabaho, tapos sinaksak o pinatay ng adik, lahat ng mga kababaihan, na kahit pati infant na babae ay ginahasa na ng adik. Libo-libo rin ang kanilang mga magulang at mahal sa buhay na wala dito ngayon. Awang-awa ang mga Pilipino sa mga inuseteng pamilyang na ito, kaya niluklok ng bansa ang Pangulong Duterte. Ang drug war ng Pangulo ay policy lamang. Hindi ito natupad kung hindi ito pinondohan ng Kongreso ng 6 na taon. Majority pa nga dito sa mga kinatawan ay naka-Duterte fist pa nung buong 6 na taon eh. Ang Duterte Youth Party List po ay patuloy na naninindigan sa Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte at pangalawang Pangulo, Sara Duterte, na naglingkod ng maayos, dumurog sa mga durugista, kriminal at NPA na terorista para proteksyonan ang milyon-milyong Pilipino. Bakit wala nag-iimbestiga dito o nag-iimbita sa atin sa sobrang raming Pilipino na biniktima ng mga durugista? And lastly, sa mga kongresista na kaalyado ng mga NPA, mahaya naman tayo sa topic ng pagpatay dahil kayo mismo, hindi kayo nagsasalita sa pagpatay ng NPA sa mga pulis, sundalo at mamayang Pilipino. Pati rin po sa mga natitirang resource persons na gusto mag-abogada papuntang ICC, si Attorney Maria Cristina Conti, na kandidato ngayon ng Bayan Muna Party List. Kasama po ang inyong katabi na si Nery Colmenares ng Bayan Muna. Sa NPA, nire-recruit ang mga kabataan para pabagsakin ang gobyerno at pumatay ng mga pulis, sundalo at tropa ng gobyerno. Di nyo naman kinokondena ang pagpatay nila. Ang kinokondena nyo ngayon ay ang dalawang naging most trusted leaders ng bansa na todo effort protektahan ang milyong-milyong mga Pilipino. In support sa advocacy sa Pangulong Duterte, ang Duterte Youth Party List ngayon, Kongreso ito, ang kaisa-isang nagpapanukala ng pagbalik ng death penalty para sa mga rapist, kidnappers, durugista at terorista. In behalf of the Duterte Youth Party List, kami ay nagpapasalamat sa todong suporta ng Pangulong Duterte at VP Sara Duterte sa mga tropa ng gobyerno at sa pagdurog nyo sa mga kriminal, durugista at NPA na terorista. Yun lang po. Maraming salamat po, Mr. Chair. At magandang gabi po.
Congresswoman.
Salamat, Mr. Chair.
Bawal po pumalakpak dito. Kung gusto nyo pumalakpak, doon kayo sa labas. Maaari ba?
Mr. Chair.
Wala hong bastusan dito, ha? Sige, Congressman Acop, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I beg to disagree with my colleague. Kasi bata pa siya. Ako, I have given up my life for this country. The former president is only 2 years older than I am. But I have been fighting for this country. I was a member of the Philippine Constabulary and became a policeman after Republic Act 6975 was enacted. This statement of my colleague betrays her ignorance. Kung gusto po niya na magpa-imbestiga, mag-file siya ng resolution and maybe refer to the appropriate committee to be fair with her. She is a congressman. she knows the rules. However, your statement or your statements betray your ignorance of our rules here in this House of Congress. So I beg to disagree, Mr. Chair, na sila lang ang nakikipaglaban at marunong makipaglaban sa kalaban. As I've said before, I have given the most part or most years of my life fighting the enemy of this country.
Napaka-bobo nitong ahop na ito eh. Alam mo, why would you ask? There's already a pending hearing. She was manifesting that there are manifesting and suggesting to summon other resource persons who can also speak about those parents whose children were murdered by addicts, by the cartel or by the Anong pinagsasabi nitong akop na ito? Parang hindi abogado. Na papailin na naman niya ng resolution. The lady who is brighter than akop, hindi naman abogado, si akop abogado, magpail daw ng resolution. Napaka lopsided naman yung pag-iisip nitong akop na ito. Very clear yung sinasabi ni Congresswoman Cardema na instead of inviting these people, why not also invite? Yeah. So do you need any resolution, Mr. Akop, na pag-imbita ng mga magulang ng mga napatay na mga ng mga NPA, mga napatay ng mga drug addict, ng mga drug syndicate? Do you need any resolution?
Ako nga nagtataka ano ba yung resolution na hinihiring nyo dyan, mga ulul kayo? At saka presented as a possible amendment, so they invite other people to go in.
Para balanse. Pero alam naman ng taong bayan na one-sided lang because ang iniimbita nyo are people who will testify against the Dutertes. Yun lang naman plain and simple
At saka ako, Secretary, I find it so unparliamentary para mag-criticize ka ng peer mo, lalo na mas bata, at ikaw hukluban nandiyan sa Kongreso, hindi mo pa alam kung paano fairness and fair play. At saka, when this woman is presenting, this young girl is presenting precisely an avenue for an amending legislation.
At saka,
tanga-tanga ka.
At saka, who is this Akop?
Hindi ba, kung magsalta para criminal hindi ba na-charge siya ng multiple murder? Rotong malili?
Magmamalinis pa 2 years older lang daw sa kanya si Duterte. He has served daw so much for the country. He wanted to die for the country. What? Nakakatawa ka, pare, Akop. You wanted to serve the country and you were even accused of multiple murder. Na-dismiss lang yung kaso on technicality. Yung kasama mo pa nagtago, umalis sa bansa, magtago. At for so many years only to resurrect kasi Noynoy Aquino administration but during the time when he was facing the law, he was nowhere to be found. Tapos ngayon sasabihin mo itong bata na napaka maayos yung sinasabi, mali ang sinasabi, ikaw ang tama kasi matanda ka na at you have served your country well. Wow, how can you serve your country if you have been accused of multiple murder? And we don't even know what happened to that case at bigla na lang ang Sandigan Bayan, ang may jurisdiction, bigla na lang bumaliktad ang Korte Suprema, binalik sa lower court at the rest is history. Biglang it disappeared like the night.
May kinalaman kaya si Bersamin dyan?
Well, we don't know. So, sana, alam mo, wag sana magmamalinis tayo. At dapat maski sino ang congressman na magsalita dyan, kasama mo, huwag mong laitin dahil lang nagsalita against yung mga testigos dyan, nagsalita against mga NPA, tapos
wala kasi sa script yung babae.
Wala sa script. Wala sa script.
They have to stick to the plan.
They have to stick to the plan. Yan. So, yun po. At sino ba yung iba pang pinasalita? Sinasabi nitong Congresswoman Cardema, yung mga NPA pa nga, yung mamamatay, violators of human rights. And mayroong NPA daw dyan
At saka mga ex-convicts at convicts.
Convicts, criminals. Ito, in the Senate hearing, this guy na nagtatanong kay Duterte, was identified to be a recruiter of NPA.
During the Senate hearing, some self-confessed former rebels linked Kabataan Party List Congressman Raul Manuel to the insurgency. They said he's part of the Communist Party of the Philippines and previously recruited for its armed wing, NPA.
Will deny it, the same as what we did nung nasa legal front organizations pa. We always deny because it is our responsibility to hide our identity.
Sir, I also worked with Raul Manuel when he was the UP student regent in the University of the Philippines, and kasama ko siya, and we were recruiting for KM and for the Communist Party of the Philippines, and we facilitated yung NPA recruitment as well within the university.
How can this Quadcom allow this people like this Raul Manuel to ask questions on the former president when he himself was identified as a member and recruiter of the New People's Army? Is there justice in our midst, mga kababayan?
Wala lang ang propriety, humihingi ka pa ng justice.
Hindi nga I still believe na yung mga iba dyan ay mayroon pa rin credibility at integrity. Pero yan, can you imagine magtatanong kay Pangulong Duterte pero hindi mo muna tinitingnan yung sarili mo kung may integridad ka ba at kredibilidad na magtatanong? Why don't you ask yourselves first, sino ba ako? Ano bang nagawa ko? Ilan bang mga bata, mga estudyante sa UP ang na-recruit ko na at gagawing NPA at magiging killer na yan pag nasa bundok na?
Or be killed.
So yun ang point natin. Kaya nga, it brings us to the statement of Attorney Topacio. Is there really is there really wisdom or reason why this Quadcom has continued its task when they are not really part of the judicial system? I mean, the judiciary. Wala naman silang rules on investigation in aid of legislation, but do they have the rules of court to protect the people? Resource persons yan They are not witnesses or accused. And yet, they are being asked and forced to answer questions. It's an inquisition. It's not an investigation in aid of legislation. It's an inquisition. Just like the old times na one-sided. Wait, okay. Sige, pakita natin yung mayroong si Attorney Ferdy Topacio, which is very good for us, Filipino people to listen to kung ano ang wisdom pa at kahulugan ng Quadcom na yan, investigation na yan.
How would you describe the recent investigations or hearings being conducted by Congress?
Well, I would say that not just the recent hearings, but the hearings as a whole from the beginning have been a sort of a roving commission on the part of the House, that 4 committees of the House, when it comes to legislative inquiries. They have clearly overstepped the bounds of reason, and they have engaged in sheer oppression in so many instances. And this is in contravention of the injunction of our Supreme Court in at least 3 cases. The case of Ermita, the case of the recent case of Lincoln Ong, you're very familiar with that. And of course, the case of Neri, which categorically stated that legislative inquiries are not investigative proceedings. They cannot take the place of the police, the prosecution, or the courts.
Would you remember, Attorney Ferdy, as to when this whole manner of conducting hearings started? Because it is part of the Constitution that Congress, Senate, they can conduct inquiries in aid of legislation. But in terms of the manner by which it is being conducted now, where it's taken on similar to a role of, as you said, a roving investigation, which the Supreme Court has ruled on in the past as being unconstitutional. But when did this all start?
I think this was premeditated, if I may say so. For one, this is, as far as I know, unprecedented. 4 committees of the House investigating a wide range of subjects from POGO to extrajudicial killings. I mean, it's a stretch to see the connection amongst all of the things that they are investigating. But clearly, there is intention, a deliberate intent to target certain political personalities for liquidation, namely, definitely a former President Duterte, which was very evident during the the last session of the Quadcom.
This investigation is wala talagang, unang-una, sinabi na ni Congressman Marcoleta yan, that when you conduct an investigation in aid of legislation, first and foremost, babasahin muna na this is an investigation to conduct you know, or to gather information from our countrymen, from our people, in order to come up with this particular legislation, or to improve, to amend, and so on. Pero ito wala eh. Ang legislation dito paano gumawa ng batas na ipakulong si Duterte? Paano gumawa ng batas na ipakain sa ICC si President Duterte? So yun ang unnamed and undisclosed proposed legislation dito sa Quadcom na ito. And as aptly stated by my compadre Ferdy Topacio, talagang wala na talaga tayo, lampas-lampas na tayo sa pasyensya ng taong bayan, mga kababayan. Paring anong last words mo bago tayo mag-ano?
Kargado, no, ng intensyon para bumagsak ang kredibilidad ng mga Duterte sa mga pagtatanong na yan, dahil kung ayaw nilang palabasin yung gusto noong si Congressman Cardema, hindi na balanse agad yan. One way lang, one way street. Ngayon, okay, one way street yan. Sa kayo mapunta, ano mga legislation na gusto nyong ilabas? Gusto naming malaman bilang taong bayan. Dahil yung si Cardema, very specific, death penalty. Kailangan pa ba resolution dyan? Motion lang yan eh.
Because there are pending bills already. And in fact, it was this committee of barbers that were conducting hearings on the imposition of death penalty. So there are already existing resolutions. So, kaya lang masyadong
sila out of order.
Masyado yatang kalgado ito si Mr. Acop Gustong akupin lahat pagkakataon.
Oo,
para
kasi para nang mawala no ha?
We don't want him. We want to let him live. We don't want him to we want him to live longer. Alam mo naman, si Kwan, misguided lang itong kaibigan nating si Akop. He's just misguided, or he's just being guided by certain force for him to do this. Baka in the next magkaroon ng people power, magkapalit ng gobyerno, baka iba naman ang ihip ng hangin dahil
maamong pusa
nung panahon ni Erap ibang ihip ng hangin sa kanya bata-bata ito ni Ping Lacson so yun po ang kahulugan nitong ikangay rule of law. Tapos sino daw yung mga criminals, what is the definition of the criminals? But it's the criminals that are asking questions to the resource person.
Yung mga convicts.
Nakakatawa. Anyway, whatever it is, mga kababayan, ito po ang Iparas kay Paras.
Huwag kalimutang mag-subscribe dito sa Iparas kay Paras at i-click ang notification bell. At mag-subscribe na rin po kayo sa aking YouTube channel na Ado Paglinawan.